All right, we are back. I can't believe it. It's our final show for 2023. We are wrapping it up. It's been a great year. I am Scott Matthews. This is the one and only OSB Sports Podcast Show. I am joined by my illustrious team again. Right next to me here, the CEO of the Sports Profits, Teddy Brooks. What's up, Teddy?
Nice to see you guys. Don't forget Christmas episode.
They're closed. We won't be doing it until I think our next show.
This is the Christmas episode.
Oh, this is our Christmas episode.
As you can see right there.
There you go. And look who's here. The Big Kahuna Claus. Tommy D is in the house.
Hey.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. I love it.
That's what Tommy Cutlets does, huh?
What's going on, Tommy?
Well, something, I heard something just before I came in. I want to bring this up. I'm always looking for stuff, and Julius Edelman, the expatriate, has a podcast.
Julian Edelman.
Excuse me. All right. So he's
a Jew, by the way.
He's a Jew. All right, we'll give him
Happy
that.
Hanukkah, Julian.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah.
There you
So he, one night was out at dinner. He ran into Jeter from the Yankees.
Yep.
Very cordial gentleman, he said. Ran into Michael Jordan. What did Michael Jordan say to him? This was Super Bowl weekend when they played, I believe, Seattle. So we're going back a few years. He said, "Don't fuck it up. I got a lot of money on you," and walked away from the guy.
Oh, boy. Well, you saw what happened in that game.
Jordan's always been a big
yeah,
better.
but Jordan's always
You
playing.
said 2011?
This
was that the year they lost to the Giants?
He said, "Don't fuck it."
No,
He
Seattle.
said,
when they won it,
they beat
they
Seattle.
intercepted in the end zone. Butler.
And his word was, "Don't fuck it up. I got a lot of money on you,"
All right.
and walked away.
Listen, that's Jordan, man.
Well,
He wants to win.
Interesting thing about that, when Jordan sold his shares of the basketball team, a lot of people were saying that it was to pay off some undisclosed gambling debt.
What did he sell that team for? $3 billion?
A lot more than he bought it for.
Yeah, $3 billion.
A lot more
I
than
think
he
the
bought
price
it for.
tag was
Yeah,
on the Charlotte Hornets.
He made money, but apparently, he owed some bookies, and he used part of the proceeds of that sale to pay him off.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Well, listen, we all known about Jordan, not to get off the topics here, but we all known about Jordan and gambling for, decades already. So
Yep.
nothing's changed there.
Yeah.
Big-time gambler. Always has, always will
just
be.
Figured I would bring that up.
Hey, we got a really good show today. We got a guest that I'm going to enjoy talking to this gentleman because I'm a big casino guy and, going around the country. And this company, his name is Gary Trask. He's the editor-in-chief for the Casino City Express. Now, if anybody knows stuff, this guy's been looking at the casino business for the past 20, 25 years, and he's going to come on the show in our next segment and talk about some stuff, so I'm sure you guys will have some. I know you will have some interesting questions about sports betting, and always Teddy has some good stuff to ask. So Gary Trask will be on our next segment. That should be some fun. What's going on? The holidays are here. Before we get into all this, you got any plans for the holidays outside of working? You guys going anywhere or family time? What's going on?
So I'm like the good sports consultant that I am. I'm waiting until the bowl games are over, and on January 2nd, I'm hitting the road for a few days. And
nice, you deserve it, man.
Going down to the Keys.
I don't think any of us have took a break this year.
We have not, but
except the Big Kahuna.
The Big Kahuna took a 2-week Miami extravaganza.
Yeah, well, it wasn't 2 weeks, but
I think he was hanging out with those models down at South Beach with his boys.
Yeah, well, I wish, but
no.
Come on.
What do you got planned for the holidays?
I'm staying local. There's a lot of action out there. And like you said, we work pretty much 7 days a week here. So this is a good time of the year. Of course, I'm going to take a little downtime in the next few days. But no, pretty much looking forward to week 16. And we got some interesting bowls coming up.
I don't think the people out there really understand how much time we put into this business.
100%.
It's pretty crazy, guys. I mean, we're probably putting, I can't speak for you guys all the way, but I'm sure you're working the same hours. We put like 80 hours a week or more into this, and we're working like 7 days a week trying to look for that edge for you guys out there. I mean, this is no joke. I mean, listen, we'd love to win them all. I'm sure you'd love to win them all. I'd love to win them all. Tommy loved to win them all. But at the end of the day, it's about consistency, and we are busting our asses here, and we're working right through the holidays. There's no Thanksgiving break. There's no Christmas break. There's no New Year's break here. But we do deserve a break after.
The biggest break we get is
give us a break.
is Major League Baseball All-Star break, where there's
4 days.
There's no sports for almost a week.
Ben, you have. I think we should go to Gary. I think it could be interesting. He's from my neck of the woods, so this could be really interesting. I'm a Boston guy, and I believe Gary's a New England guy himself. Ben, if we could pull Gary Trask up, that would be great, and bring him on the show. Gary, you with us?
I am, gentlemen. How are you?
I'm Scott Matthews. How you doing, Gary? Pleasure. I hear you from my old stomping grounds. I was born and raised up there in Boston area, so kudos to you. Kudos to me on that. And
in case you couldn't tell by the accent.
A little bit. Everyone thinks I'm from New York, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, you were smart to get out of the cold weather.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't handle the shoveling anymore. It was time to go. Definitely time to go. Hey, Gary, you're the editor-in-chief of, obviously, this casino publication, Casino City. What is it exactly you guys do? Is it a ratings company on all different variations of casino things, from sports betting to different hotels? Can you explain to us a little bit exactly what your forte is with the publication and your websites?
Sure. We basically cover the entire industry, the casino gaming industry, everything from online casinos to land-based casino openings. We do a lot of B2B work, but we also do a lot of editorial, and that's kind of in my wheelhouse. So I cover the entire industry. Like I said, online casinos. I've covered the World Series of Poker probably a dozen times. Get out to Vegas 4 or 5 times a year. To see what's going on out there as far as restaurants, spas, and of course sports books. So it's been a good fit for me. I've been doing it. I've been covering the industry for almost 20 years.
Okay.
And been betting on sports since I was in high school. So
yeah, you and me both.
Sports betting is definitely my passion. So it's been a good fit for me. But all the other parts of the industry, it's just growing and growing every year.
Right.
There's never a dull moment. Every day there's something going on. So it's a lot of fun.
Let me ask you, when you say you're rating the casinos, are you rating it from table games or just the overall experience, like of the top casinos, out there? I mean, what is it you guys are looking for to consider it like the best casino per se, or restaurant, hotel? I don't know exactly the format of what you guys are doing, but let's say are you rating the casinos like when you do the top casinos? What are the stipulations to make it a top casino for you guys?
Well, most of the stuff that I write is lifestyle centric. So I try to write it from the average person, that doesn't get out to Vegas a lot, maybe gets out there once a year, and consider everything, not just the
experience. You mean like the whole experience?
Yeah, the non-gaming amenities are as big as the gaming right now. I mean,
right.
The Las Vegas Strip, those casinos are making more money on non-gaming amenities than they are on the casino games, with all the restaurants and the spas and the pool parties.
Oh yeah,
the concerts.
Well, that's where they're making their money.
I try to write it from an average person. That's how I try to attack it. When you say rankings, I'll do a lot of top 10s, and I know we're going to talk about the article I wrote at the beginning of the football season where I ranked the top 10 Las Vegas sports books. And again, I try to write that from a guy who, or a gal who gets out to Vegas once a year. They spend the day in the sports book, and where do they get the most value? Where is it most player friendly? Where what sports books have the best F&B options, that sort of thing. So I try to write it from the average person, not like a high roller, but someone who that we all can relate to.
Right. Okay. Well, since you mentioned that, what is your top? Let's call it your top 3 or top 5, whatever you want to give us on the show. Your top 5 or 3 sports books that you feel right now as we speak. Don't forget, they just opened up the Fontainebleau Hotel and Casino out there just a couple of days ago. So I'm hearing that's going to be unbelievable. So obviously it's too new to make any judgment call there. But as of right now, for you guys, who are your top 3 sports books in Vegas right now from the experience?
And you mentioned Fontainebleau. I have not been out there yet. I'm hoping to get out there in January to check that out. But also earlier this month, Durango opened, another casino. Station Casinos, who owns the Red Rock. And from what I've heard and what I've seen, that sports book looks like it would definitely crack my top 10 if I was writing that today. It's got an outdoor area. It looks fantastic. So I'm looking forward to getting out there. But when I wrote the article back in right before the football season started, I don't think I'm going to get much pushback from putting Circa as number 1. I mean, they have quickly become the standard in the sportsbook industry for the size of the bet they'll take, their customer service. and the sports book itself. I mean, it's three. If you haven't been out there, it's 3 stories high. The screen is massive.
Yeah, it's an experience for sure.
Yeah, it's an experience, and they do a great job there. They also have this stadium swim, which isn't really considered a sports book, but if you've seen the pictures of it, it's just outstanding. I spent a Saturday college football out there this fall. It seats about 4,000 people. It's got a 140-foot screen. There's like 11 pools. There's some table games. It's a big party.
Gary, I got Teddy Brooks on the panel with me, and he had a question for you, so I wanted him to definitely ask.
Sure. Well, yeah, you could go ahead and finish your top 5 because I'm really curious on what those are, and then I do have a question, casino, sportsbook related.
So that was number 1. Number 2 is the Westgate Superbook. I've spent a lot of time in that sports book, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's if you had told me 5 years ago that someone would knock them off as the number 1 sports book in Vegas, I would have thought you were crazy. But it's got a 30,000-foot screen. Again, the customer service is great, and I like sitting at a bar. That's my thing. So they have a great long bar at the back end of the sports book. You go in there on a Sunday, get there, 8:30, 9 o'clock, about an hour and a half before kickoff. You'll find a couple seats at the bar, and you can just sit there all day. And the screens are massive. They do like Circa. They do a great job of knowing what the big games are and what the audio for the big game should be.
Right.
They switch the audio during commercials. As soon as the game ends, boom, the next game's up there on the big screen. So it's a great spot. It's jaw dropping when you walk in there. And then I put the Wynn number 3. Like everything else at the Wynn, it's just super luxury.
Right.
It's expensive. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh yeah.
It can get pricey.
That's my place. I stayed there myself.
Yeah, super comfortable. The screens are great. Again, great customer service. But that's definitely one of those places that you're not going to stroll in, right at kickoff and find a seat.
Are you rating that Wynn number 3 because of the remodeling they did on the book a few years back? Is that what made them go higher for you guys? Because they did change it up, made it much more lighter and different.
Absolutely, yeah. And speaking of redoing books, the Venetian just redid theirs this fall.
Yes,
I think I had that number 4 on my list, and I'd rank it up there right in the top with anybody. I mean, it's fantastic. The screens are great. Again, they have a nice bar, and that's one that a lot of people don't mention when they mention Las Vegas sports books. Everyone mentions Circa and Sports Superbook, but the Venetian is really fantastic.
Is that the stadium one, Gary? The one that's the stadium one?
That used to be they closed that. That was Legacy's stadium.
Exactly.
They've closed that, and they've since created an actual sports book. The stadium was more like a sports bar.
All right.
But the Venetian, it's right up there. So I'd rank it right up there. So again, like I wrote in the column at the beginning of the column, I compare sports books to pizza. They're all come in different shapes and sizes and different prices. But there's no such thing as a bad pizza or a bad sports book. So.
I think the Big Kahuna would disagree with you because his favorite joint is the pizza place in the corner at the Cosmo.
They say upstairs the Cosmo has the best pizza. But let me ask you this, Gary. Who caters to whales? A guy that wants to go out and really start betting some serious money. What sports book would you say caters to the whale better?
It's definitely Circa. I mean, they've earned the reputation of taking a big bet. We've all heard the stories of especially the online sports books of shutting down winning players, and the Circa simply doesn't do that. I know Superbook also will take a big bet, but Circa, in addition to taking a big bet, they have become the industry standard on the contests. I mean, they've overtaken the Westgate Superbook contest as the number 1 contest in town. And this Survivor, I don't know if you've been following the Survivor.
I think they're down to 10 people. I saw it.
I think it's under 10.
Really?
And that's, it's going to be one of the biggest prizes in sports tournament history. So they do everything right there. Derek Stevens, the fact that he got that thing built on time during COVID and opened it basically during COVID, it's fantastic. So I recommend it. And it gives you a chance to get downtown, which I always like doing. All these other books that we've been talking about are down on the Strip. Circa's downtown Las Vegas. And it's changed the game down there.
Gary, were you in the I'm going to throw it over to Teddy in a second. I just had one question because I've been going to Vegas for like the last 35 years. But the big mega book that really kicked it off, like in what the new age casinos, was the Mirage when Jimmy Vicario was running that book over. They would take any type of play, and they were getting like the biggest players coming in there, not only on the tables, but they weren't scared to take any type of action. That was back in like 1989, 1990 when they first opened it.
that was Steve Wynn owned,
Yep.
and he hired Jimmy Vicario, and I see Jimmy. I get to see Jimmy every time I go out to Vegas. I have lunch with him a lot. He is an absolute legend, and he always tells me, I helped design the Mirage Sportsbook, and it hasn't changed since they opened it because I designed it right. And he's right. I mean, it's a great setup, but the screen's a little outdated compared to all these other Superbooks. But Jimmy's down at South Point. I have that on my list with Chris Andrews, two real legends of the industry. And Jimmy's always walking around. You can't miss him. He's always wearing a white sweatshirt and jeans. And if you go up and talk to him, he'll tell you story after story about the old days. And and he's one of the most
interesting He's into
guys
it, that's for sure. Teddy had a question. I want to get Teddy on. He's got a couple of questions.
Definitely. Nice to meet you, Gary. So my question is a little bit off of the lifestyle topic and off of the Vegas topic, and more about these new sports books that are opening up state by state by state. You may or may not be able to answer this. I noticed that you have big tax differentials from one state to another on what the states are charging these sports books and these casinos to operate. I'll use New York as an example. I have players in New York that they sign up for these new sports books, and the offers in the state of New York are not as good as their offers in other states. And what I hear is it's because the tax rate is so high. So what do you think the viability is of casinos and sports books online to continue to operate, survive, and thrive in the face of these potentially excessive taxes?
Well, you mentioned New York, and you're right. I think the tax rate is over 50%.
51%.
51%.
Yeah. So, but it's New York. So, the amount of the population, they can get away with it, and they are getting away with it. But the viability of all these books surviving, it's probably not likely. I mean, you have DraftKings and FanDuel are clear-cut number 1 and 2. I mean, they hold about 80% of the action going on across the country, and then everyone else is trying to catch up. I'm hearing great things about ESPN Bet. They have that here in Massachusetts. I use it. That's the old Barstool, Penn Entertainment. Penn Entertainment owns it now, but it was Barstool. I hear ESPN Bet has done well since it launched in November, but they were also offering some great bonuses. And the bonuses are eventually going to dry up. I mean, the bottom line is these sports books are operating at a loss, and they're spending so much on customer acquisition. It's just not sustainable. But I think they can get away with a tax rate like that in New York. I don't think they could get away with it in other places. But of course, we still have Florida. I know Hard Rock Bet opened up down in Florida, but that's a monopoly right now. But if you look at a state like Texas or California, I mean, those are just going to be monster markets, and I would expect the tax rate, they're going to try to get the same as they're getting in New York. But I think, to answer your question, there's dozens of options of sports books, and I don't see how they're all going to survive, taking 2% of the pie every month.
Yeah. So you think eventually it'll be like the top three, and they'll just take over the industry down the road?
Eventually, who knows? Who knows who's going to buy what? But
right,
I mean,
who's going to buy
everyone
who
has their eyes on everyone has their eyes on ESPN Bet right now, and also Fanatics. They got a huge, obviously they got a lot of cash flow.
They bought out PointsBet, correct?
Yeah,
they did. They did. But like I always preach to everybody, you should always shop for the best line. And a lot of these books, they don't have fair lines. I mean,
well, that's a great point you made.
That leads to my second question. So. Yeah. I don't really get out to Vegas often, but if I had to guess, I would say the lines and the options that you can get if you're betting in Vegas are probably better than what you can get on a lot of these state-run apps.
Well, it's totally different. Now, in Nevada, you have it's in person, so you have to go to the sports book. That's one thing that the casinos have demanded, that you have to go actually physically to the sports book to set up your online account. So that's not really player friendly. I mean, I can sit here from my couch and sign up for 8 sports books here in Massachusetts and not have to go anywhere. But the casinos want you to come in, and that's one thing I will mention. If you're going out to Vegas, spend the time to open up 3 or 4 sports book accounts, and then when you're sitting at that bar at the Westgate for the day on Sunday, you don't have to get up and stand in that line, which can be like a half hour long. That's a long time to wait to lose $50.
Yeah.
So why not open up 4 accounts, take the time, go the night before, walk around down the strip, have those 4 accounts set up, sit down at the bar, and then you don't have to go anywhere. And another thing I mentioned to people, it's not like the old days where you get free drinks, all day long. You have to ask for it. So when you go fund your account, smile at the teller and say, "Hey, any drink tickets?" And they'll throw you 2 or 3 drink tickets, and then you're off and running, and you have a great day. So those are another couple tips that I would give people that are going to go out to Vegas to sit in the sports book all day.
It's still a great experience, like the Super Bowl out there with the Super Bowl party. I mean, I've been going for a long, long time, like I said, but I love the Super Bowl parties out there. They throw unbelievable ones at some of the big hotels in their ballrooms, and obviously March Madness, they cater to huge events out there. So it's really a great experience. I mean, for anyone that's never done it, you should put it on your bucket list. It's something definitely to do. And I'm sure you agree with that one.
Speaking of Jimmy Vicario, when all these other states started opening up their sports betting, I remember I asked him. I said, "Do you think it's going to affect the handle out here in Nevada?" And he said he had a great analogy. He said, "Gary, everyone goes to amusement parks all over the country, but we're Disneyland, and everybody still wants to come to Disneyland." And it's true. It's an experience. So even though you can bet on your phone and sit in your hotel or at a sports bar, you want to be in the sports book, sitting around like-minded people that have bets in the games. It's a great experience.
100%.
Well, like you said earlier, because it's not the same like it used to be back, 30 years ago. Now Vegas makes their money on food, shows, the entertainment. Yeah. They're not really caring about the gambler like they used to. Before they counted more on the gambling part of it. Now it's all about the entertainment because, listen, you pay top dollar for these restaurants. You pay top dollars for these shows. I mean, there's a lot of money that they make. The rooms, they charge you crazy money for the rooms. Mm-hmm. If you're not really a real player out there, you're going to spend a lot of money to go to Vegas. The nightclubs are like crazy expensive. I mean, if you want to go to a good club, get bottle services and things like that, you're going to spend thousands of dollars. So you got to be prepared to spend some money when you go to Las Vegas, especially if you're just going on your own and you're not a real player that gets comps. Like I'm used to getting comps over the years because I was a good-sized player. So I took advantage of all these opportunities over the years, getting a lot of things for free. But I obviously had a risk. It was a risk reward to get them.
Yeah, the casinos are definitely looking for that foot traffic. And on that note, there's great happy hours, and I've written a couple columns about that, of the best happy hours out in Vegas, and that's something else you can take advantage of. And there's some great ones out there. So, it is expensive. Especially the high level casinos that you're not going to get a drink for less than $15-20.
Right.
But there are ways around it, and you have to expect to spend money when you go out there.
Well, when you're on the tables, don't you get the drinks though? If you're playing,
yes, for sure.
They give you the drinks.
If you're playing, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
No problem.
In the slot.
If you're just hanging around, you're going to have to, smile and ask for drink tickets, like you said. The big kahuna over here, our man Tommy D, had a question for you.
Gary, I know William Hill is big mobile in Vegas, but who else has mobile betting other than William Hill? Who else can you sign up with?
Basically, every sports book. William Hill is the biggest one. They have kiosks everywhere. They run a couple of the books out there. And they're the most volume. But every other book, Superbook you have to go to the Superbook and sign up for it. Circa has a couple different locations. They have a location at the Tuscany Suites, which is down behind the Horseshoe, used to be Bally's. They have a couple other. They also own Golden Gate downtown. So there's a couple spots for them. When you got to go in there and sign up. Same with the Venetian. So you have to go to the casino and sign up for the account. You can't just do it from your phone. But they all offer mobile sports betting.
Interesting.
I got one last question, and we appreciate your time. It's coming from Teddy. He wants to ask you one last question, and then we want to get your information, how people can check out your services and your publications and websites. So
it's going to be a quick question. Best steakhouse in Vegas and best restaurant that's not a steakhouse in Vegas.
In their opinion?
In that man's opinion,
in that
right
man's
there.
Opinion.
Or
okay.
Maybe probably did an article about it. So.
All right.
Well, there's some great steakhouses. Believe it or not, and I wouldn't put this as the best one, but the steakhouse at Circus, which is pretty run down, is phenomenal.
Is that Michael's? That's not Michael's.
No, it's actually called The Steakhouse.
Okay.
But the best steakhouse, there's three downtown that I love to go to. Oscar's at Plaza. And I mentioned happy hour. They have a great happy hour 7 days a week. I think it's from like 5 to 7. Drinks a half price. Some great appetizers. Triple George is a little underrated one that's downtown. And then Barry's at Circa is again, you're going to spend the money, but it's an absolute tremendous restaurant. There's also one off the strip called Herbs and Rye.
You remember back in the day, this might be before your time. I've probably been going to Vegas a little longer, but there was a restaurant in the Barbary Coast, believe it or not. It was like the best steakhouse in Vegas at the time. It was called Michael's. I don't know if you even remember that. But that,
no, Barbary Coast is long gone, but
I know.
I'm sure it was great.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was great.
That was like
as far as non-steakhouse, Carbone, a great Italian restaurant. That's just.
They got one of those down here also.
Yeah,
okay,
in Miami. That's right.
Barbary Coast had the only Western Union also in the day.
Western Union.
Yeah, well, that brings back.
That's right.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
Sure does.
Yeah.
To go to Barbary Coast, get the money, and go upstairs to Michael's.
Yeah.
But Gary, listen, we really, really appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy man. We got the holidays. We want to wish you nothing but the best, happy and a healthy holiday season. And where can the people find some information out? Can you give us so our audience could check you out? Where they can find you?
The company is Casino City Press. Most of the stuff that I write is on CasinoCityTimes.com. And you can also find me on Twitter at CasinoCityGT.
This guy's an expert, ladies and gentlemen. You got to listen to him. This is what he does. Like we do the games, this man rates all things gambling around, from sports betting, hotels, lifestyle, you name it. Check it out. Go to their website. Gary, we appreciate you. You're a Boston guy. I got some good liking for you. And happy holidays to you, and we'll catch you back down the road.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. There you go.
A little hungry after all those steak ratings, man, huh?
Listen, he missed the one I like. I don't know if you. Do you go to Vegas recently? Have you been out there?
Been years.
Okay.
Wow.
Been 10 years since I've been to
I got my
Vegas.
man over here. I'm not going to disclose names, but my man and I, we like that SW Steakhouse at the Wynn. That ranks up there about as good as it gets in my eyes. And I'm going to be out there. I'm hoping you're coming out there.
I'm coming,
Super
man.
Bowl?
We're supposed to be shooting a show out there in January.
We're going to take this show on the road.
I hope we get there. I hope the wheels don't fall off the bus before we get to Nevada.
The bus.
Listen, guys, let's get back into what we're best at. We got some games this week. We got college football bowl games. We got NFL. It's heating up right now. It's really heating up. So we got a Thursday night game, and we got a Thursday night. Matter of fact, right here in the same town we're doing the show from.
Boca Raton Bowl.
We got the Boca Raton Bowl.
It's actually roofclaim.com bowl.
Oh, wow.
What did they pay for that? Roofclaim.com.
Well, roof claims are a big business in Florida ever since they passed that law that basically the government subsidizes your roof. You need a new roof, you get the roof for free. Insurance is paying for it, and if insurance doesn't pay for it, the state's going to pay for it, and you just pay the state back monthly.
Well, we got a really good Thursday night NFL game. I think we should talk about it. Both of these teams got a shot. They're playing well right now. You got New Orleans playing against the L.A. Rams. Current line, I believe, the Rams on this game is 4 points. You have any strong opinion on that game?
I got a strong opinion on the college, so I'll bounce that NFL back to you guys.
All right. Anything on that game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent Thursday night game. Rams 46.5. Saints coming off beating Tommy Cutlets against the Giants.
I think they cooked Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah, good old Tommy, yeah.
They cooked them, sliced them, and diced them.
Yeah, and Rams beat the Commanders. Rams have won 4 out of 5 here. Both teams need to win. They can both get into the playoffs here. This is not a strong play, in my opinion. If I had a lean, I take the Rams at home, minus the 4 to cover. I think they'll get the job done, but it's not one of my strongest picks of the week.
All right. Well, hate to do this to you in the holiday times, but I'm definitely disagreeing with you on that play. I like the dog in the game.
All right.
I like New Orleans. Absolutely. I think they're going to cause mistakes. I think they're running into a little beehive defense this week, the Rams. They're going to have a little problem with the Saints defense, and I think Derek Carr is going to keep himself error-free. And if he's error-free, this guy is as good as anybody in the league. I mean, he's not the top, but he's damn close in the top 10 quarterbacks when he's on. So I like the dog in this game. I think they got a big shot. I'm making this a 7-unit play on New Orleans at +4. I'm leaving the line right at 4. That's my pick for Thursday.
Wow.
All right, you mentioned something about this college football game, so I want to give you the floor. You got a game right here in Boca Raton, Florida. The weather should be, let's say it's going to cool off, but it'll be still great football weather. I believe it's South Florida playing Syracuse, correct?
South Florida playing Syracuse. This is
3-point spread.
Yep, Syracuse is favored by 3.5, depending on the book. Here's the thing with this game, and bowl games in general, you got to pay attention to who's going into that transfer portal, who's getting fired, who's not going to play because they don't want to play a bowl game because maybe they're going to the NFL or maybe they're transferring. So there's a rule where when you declare transfer portal, you can't play in the bowl game. So that affects this game big time. I'm looking at Syracuse. They fired their head coach, so they have an interim head coach. And in the words of, I was looking this up, this is Dave Malinsky. He was a really good sports bettor who died hiking. He fell hiking, and he has a big theory with always going against teams that have coaching changes in a bowl game because the coaches and the staff, they're focused on finding their next job, not getting their team prepared for the game. And that's what the deal is with Syracuse right now. Syracuse also has a lot of players out, especially defensively, going into this portal. USF, pretty much intact. They have a couple players go into the portal, but just like one or two, not really a big deal. Syracuse runs the ball 70% of the time, and USF ranks 20th against the run as far as running success allowed. I'm looking at USF as the dog in Florida. Not their backyard, but only a few hours away from their backyard. This is one of my favorite plays of the week, yes. This is a strong play for me.
And let me add one thing. The quarterback for Syracuse has thrown one pass this year, -6 yards.
Yeah.
So you got a guy that's going out there, and you said a new coach. He's not coaching this game, whoever they hired for Syracuse.
The interim coach is.
Yeah, but they still can rally. Players get up for games.
But they got a totally untested quarterback.
Nunzio Campanello is the interim coach, but they can rally.
It's a 3-point spread. Yeah. Anyone's got a shot in a game like this going into it.
They can rally, but I'm looking at decent defense, and half the defense is out. I'm rolling with USF. Strong play.
I agree. Okay.
Get the hook, 3.5.
All right, well, there's games throughout the week, but there's only like really one college game on Friday. I think we should look at Saturday. We've got a couple of great NFL games. You got a full board of college football on Saturday. You got two games, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. That should be a decent game. Cincinnati's finding ways to win with this quarterback. I'll tell you, he came back last week, got the job done against Minnesota. It looked like they were going to lose the game. Then they came back and won it. And then we got a really nice game. This is, well, not really nice anymore, but if Justin Herbert was in there, it could have been a nice game. We got Buffalo as a 12-point favorite against the Chargers. Anything you like on those two games?
I'm looking at that game. Chargers, total disarray here. Totally got annihilated.
Got rid of their coach?
No coach. Got annihilated by the Raiders. Bills just beat up on the boys. Yeah, it's a big line on the road, but I don't see how Buffalo will not cover this number. They have the momentum now going into the playoffs. Chargers are looking for next year. I'd lay the 12.5 with Buffalo to cover this one.
I think Buffalo's going to be a little bit of a sleeper team. I told you they were going to pick up some energy if they won those last couple of games, which they did, and they could have beat Philadelphia. I mean, they should have won against Philly. So Buffalo seems to be quietly coming into the picture. I don't know what your take is on Buffalo.
I love Buffalo in this game. I'm with you guys on this one. Now, one thing I want to look at, if Keenan Allen starts, he's a big piece to their puzzle, and he's going to help this quarterback out a lot if he starts. If he doesn't start, I think it's a complete bloodbath. But even if he does start, I'm still taking Buffalo. Yeah. 12 points is a lot, but I don't mind it. They are quietly coming up into the ranks, and they're coming into form at the right time. I like what I'm seeing from them. And the interesting thing is, the money, if you look at the money, it's actually coming in early on the Chargers, and the line's still moving towards Buffalo. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on game day. But with money coming in on the Chargers, line moving towards Buffalo, all the issues with the Chargers firing the head coach.
But that could be a good thing, too. You know, teams rally, too, because maybe they wanted to get rid of them. So they weren't playing so good.
Usually, the first game after a head coach is fired is actually really good.
Like the Raiders did. They got rid of McDaniels. All of a sudden, Pierce won his first couple of games.
They also got rid of the general manager.
Yeah.
So they cleaned shop.
They cleaned house. I just can't not go with Buffalo in this position here.
Okay. I don't have an opinion on that game. I actually like the other game.
And one more thing. the Chargers, people aren't even going to their games, so they don't even have home field advantage. There's no noise being made in those stadiums.
There'll be more Buffalo Mafia fans.
They were talking about
Right.
the Buffalo Mafia is going to be traveling hard this weekend.
They're going to take over L.A. All right. Anything on the other game?
No, I'm going to stick with the Bills for that's Saturday, and I'm looking at a game for Sunday.
All right.
New
What about you?
Christmas Eve.
Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, rivalry game? Nothing?
Nothing. I got college, but
Okay.
do you have a Cincinnati-Pittsburgh
I'm going to
play?
jump on
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
I'm riding. I'm riding with this guy Browning. I think that Pittsburgh right now is in shambles. I just don't like the way they're playing on both sides of the ball. They got up to a 13-0 lead last week, and they just fell apart. They didn't do anything against the Colts the rest of the game. They're making a lot of mistakes. They're just not the Pittsburgh Steelers of old, and I think Cincinnati's got that momentum. Remember what I said, guys. When you see a team slowly momentum, and since Burrow went out, they got this new quarterback. They got energized. They got some players back. It's a big difference when you see these things happening right in front of your eyes. And this game's only a 2-point line. I just money line Cincinnati. Just all you got to do is win. You get the job done. But I like Cincinnati in this game. I think they got all the momentum. I don't like the way the Steelers are playing. I don't like on offense or defense. Take Cincinnati, guys. This is a 7-unit selection. I rate them 1 to 10. 10 is being the best of the best. This is a 7, so it's got a high criteria.
Are we going to get a 10 this weekend?
We may get one.
Okay. I want a 10.
I got to give a Christmas gift away to the people.
There you go.
All right, so you like something on college football for Saturday?
College football Saturday, the last game of the day. Coastal Carolina Chancellors.
Oh, you love those teams.
Are playing San Jose State Spartans. Now, couple things. Once again, go back to the transfer portal. Coastal Carolina is playing their third-string quarterback. Their top 2 quarterbacks are both out. Their top wide receivers in the portal. Their running backs in the portal. Their best linebacker is in the portal. Coastal Carolina is being decimated by the transfer portal in this game. And for the most part...
That's why they adjusted the line to 10 on this game.
Yeah.
Because of all that.
It was open at like 6, right?
Yeah, I think it was even low. Yeah, they moved it a lot.
Yeah. For the most part, San Jose State is a team that's staying together in this game. They've been improving throughout the year. I gave them against UNLV in the conference championship game. 9-3 against the spread this year. I think this is a 2-touchdown winner right here, San Jose State.
All right. I don't have any opinion on college.
But of course,
for
if
Saturday.
you have it at 10.5, get it to 10 at least, please.
I'm showing 10 right now.
Then leave it at 10.
Maybe bring it, below 10 even.
Maybe bring it to 9.5. Yeah.
Yeah, just get, if you're going to, listen, guys, we're big components on shopping, and it's the holiday season, so what better time to shop than right now, especially on your point spread. So if you can get a game you really like on double digits, under double digits, you might want to consider doing that, getting that line down. As Teddy said, he likes it. He likes that team. You might want to get it to -9. I'm not putting words in Teddy's mouth, but that's probably
9.5. 9.5. There's no reason to spend the extra money on a whole point. It's holiday season. We got to save that money for Christmas gifts, right?
Oh man, it's don't even remind me. I think I might have to go to Ben after the show for a little for some dough with the holiday money I'm spending. Big Kahuna, I hope I'm getting a nice Christmas gift from you this year.
You'll get a gift, man. After the show, we'll talk about it.
All right, Jesus. Teddy, you better take care of us. We're working hard for this guy every week.
I have won the most, I think. So.
Oh, so he gets the big, he gets the 66 inch. I only get the 65 inch.
66 inch for 66%.
Ben, can you make that happen? Order those TVs for us, with the big Kahuna to pick it up on the credit card. All right, listen, all kidding aside, we got a big-time board of NFL on Christmas. Well, I guess they're going to go to Christmas Eve on the late games. But we got some really, really good games going, and we got one right here in our backyard. Does it get any better than this one? I know he's going to smile when I say it.
I'm so excited
Dallas
for this game.
and Miami Dolphins. What better game right now?
Right here, people.
I know you're going to have an opinion. I know you are, and I am too. This game is huge. This is going to be interesting because Dallas just came off getting their asses handed to them. Miami came back after losing that crazy game to Tennessee, winning 30-0 against the Jets. And Jets usually play them well, but this is not the Jets team, guys, of the past. So I'm going to kick it to you first and tell me, unless this is your best bet, any games you're looking at for Sunday outside this game, but I really like an opinion on this one.
Yeah, I'll start with this one. I mean, this is a game where I have been talking smack, as you guys know, about the Cowboys all year long. But let's be honest, the Dolphins kind of mirror the Cowboys in a lot of ways where they lose to the good teams. They beat the bad teams bad. It's a very similar thing. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, looking at everything, the Cowboys defense is definitely a little bit better, but this Dolphins offense is
Tyreek Hill going to play this week?
I am not sure. I'm going to pull up the injury chart right now and see what's going on with him.
They might have rested him for this game.
Tyreek Hill is a question mark right now.
Okay.
Now, knowing this guy and how much he loves this game, and he has that 2,000-yard goal.
Yep.
He wants to get 2,000 yards. He's like 400 and something away.
He's going to need to play the rest of the game.
He needs 3 big games, 100 plus. He needs 350-yard games to achieve that.
But a tough defense to play against.
It's a very hard defense.
Those corners are tough, man.
You got Micah Parsons. I mean, it's a great defense. But here's what I'm saying here. I'm saying that Miami home field advantage squeaks it out. Miami on the money line. If whoever wins this game, they have a good future. Whoever loses this game, they're going to be in trouble. Mm-hmm. Miami needs this one. Cowboys.
I'll tell you what,
too,
if Miami loses and Buffalo wins, they're right on their tail.
Miami is 2 games ahead of Buffalo,
sneaking up,
and they play Buffalo. So if Miami drops a game and Buffalo picks up a game, then that Miami-Buffalo game is going to be huge. And if Buffalo beats Miami, they have the head-to-head 2 games. They're winning the AFC East. So the AFC East is still, which is another reason why I love Buffalo so much, to just steamroll on.
How are you
Saturday.
rating this game? Is this a strong play?
I don't do ratings, Scotty.
Well, a strong play.
This is like a medium play.
Medium play. So on a scale of 1 to 10 to 5.
This is a 5.
Okay.
This is a 5. USF is a 8.
He's sitting here smiling away, the big kahuna with his Christmas claws over here.
Let me tell you this one. I'm going to the Hard Rock down here to bet this game personally.
Oh, boy.
I'll even be doing some videos from down here. I'm taking a different approach from Teddy. Dallas could put up points. Dolphins can put up a lot of points at home.
Now you're thinking.
51.5. This is going to be a good old shootout in the end. I'm going over the 51.5. I can't figure out who's going to cover this game at 1.5. This is going down to the 4th quarter. You're going to see a lot of offense from both sides over 51.5.
I think you got the right idea, my friend.
Well,
I like it.
I got to give you props there. I like that play myself.
Tough to figure out who's going to cover
I think the
this
game's going to be brutal. I don't know. I just think Dallas is going to come in pissed. Miami, obviously, they want to win. It's going to be, all eyeballs on this game on Sunday for sure.
Great game.
I think they're going to open it up, both these teams. I could see Dak throwing for a lot of yards. I could see definitely Tua throwing for a lot of stuff, and I could see a lot of touchdowns in this game. I don't see a problem at 51. I would take it at 51, and I'd go over that number. I'm looking at a 5-unit play on it, but I do like the over on that game. I see that game working for a lot of points.
It's going to be the best Cowboys-Dolphins game since that snow game on
I'm going to try to go to
Thanksgiving.
that game, but tickets are like right now they're like $600, $700, $800 to get in that game. Little
South Florida tickets are very
Tommy
high.
D money,
Panthers tickets
not
are through the
Scotty
roof,
M money.
too.
Huh?
Panthers tickets are so much higher than they used to be.
Panthers just came off a tough road trip, so
Yeah.
they're probably glad to be home today. They were on the road for 10 days, played 5 games. I think they were like 2-3 on the road trip, but that's another story.
3-2. They started off. They won the first 3, and then they dropped.
I think they won they won 2 and 3. I'm pretty sure they had a losing road trip, but I could be wrong. But I think I'm right. Anyways, anything else on Sunday?
You know what? I'm gonna stick with that one. I'm not gonna just stick my neck out for the sake of playing over 51.5. I like the Bills. I like South Florida and that Boca Raton Bowl. The actual, what is it called? The actual.
Just call it Boca Raton Bowl. Keep it simple.
Roofclaim.com Bowl.
Roofclaim.com Bowl.
Yep.
All right.
I have one other fiver unit. Now I'm using units because Scotty's got me using units now. I don't even use
It's
units.
the holidays. Come on, let's use this.
I am liking
It's our last show till next
Baker
year.
Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game.
Are they playing good or what, man?
They're playing great.
Baker looked great
They're
last
playing
week.
great. They were my pick of the week for NFL last week.
Yeah, I used them myself. I liked
I'm
them.
doubling down on them this week. Plus, I think Trevor Lawrence is out, right? He's hurt.
No, he's playing.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, but he hasn't been playing right. I don't know what
He's
to do.
questionable.
Yeah. Well, he might have got re-injured, but
Yeah, this says Connor Bethard is starting. So, I mean, that might change. Obviously, if that,
the line's only 1, though. Tampa
it's
Bay.
1. Tampa Bay -1. It opened +2. Now it's -1.
What are they, 6 and 7, and they're in the first place in the division, right?
They are.
That division's
they're
crazy.
7 and 7, but yeah.
Oh, they are 7 and 7 now, right? With that last win. Yeah, 7 and 7. You're in first place.
Wow.
And the other teams like 10 and 3, and like Philly, 10 and 4 now, and they're not in first place.
Right.
So just crazy, the competition in certain divisions.
Certain divisions are a lot weaker than others.
There's one other game I was looking at. I just think that Chicago right now has been playing really well, even though they lost. I don't know if you saw that game on the Hail Mary. Justin Fields threw up at the last play of the game that they hit the guy actually in his chest, and he dropped it. They could have won that game, but they did cover last week. But Chicago's playing a lot better right now. I think they're coming together. I don't know what the deal is. If Justin realizes there's a lot of pressure on him, if they, going to move him or keep him, or what the deal. But I like Chicago. I don't see Arizona. I just don't think they're going to travel well in that type of environment with that cold weather coming off the lakes in Chicago. And the line on this game, I would buy it down to 3 from 4, and I would take the Bears at home. This is my top play.
Wow.
It is a 10
Wow, there's the 10.
unit.
There's the
guys.
10.
This is the Christmas present. Chicago Bears to beat Arizona handily by at least double digits, I feel. That game I see as a blowout. Anything else, guys?
I'm looking forward to just a big holiday weekend, guys. I mean, but this Dallas Dolphin game is going to be classic, in my opinion.
Yeah, it should be a great game. I mean, if both listen, it's like styles make fights, right? If they both show up right and they're going at each other, it should be an exciting game. Should be a lot of points. Could be a wide open, high-scoring game. If there's turnovers, it's sloppy. Who the hell knows? But it should be a great game.
I gotta throw something in here, guys. Now, I don't want to get too political.
By the way, Edgar's waiting. We got Edgar.
Yeah,
Edgar.
I'll make it quick.
Out there on a special assignment.
Edgar's taking a.
Oh, he's not coming on. Okay,
he's not coming
Christmas
on.
hiatus.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was looking forward to his segment.
All right, so
Damn.
we have been indirectly attacked by Rashard Mendenhall. I don't know if you guys saw this. So Rashard Mendenhall put out a tweet.
Towards us?
No. Well, yeah. He basically said that he is sick and tired of people being berated by people who aren't experts in the game.
Right.
And then he went on to say that average white guys should not be talking about football on TV.
Are we average white guys?
And then he said that the Pro Bowl this year, instead of being nationally NFC versus AFC,
Right.
should be white versus black.
Oh God.
Now, listen, Mendenhall, come on, man. Let us have our fun.
Is that like scrambled eggs versus egg whites? I don't know. Which one is it?
Let us have our fun. He did this tweet. It went viral. Everyone was talking about it. But what's wrong with white guys sitting around talking about football? I don't know. I think
we probably watch football more than these guys.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. In our offices alone, we have multiple screens where we're watching all these games all day, all week. Whatever's up, whatever the sport is, we're watching.
And here's what I'll tell you.
We're not just like.
I never heard of this guy. Who is this guy?
He's an old running back. He used to play for the Steelers.
Right. He was around.
Not too long ago. Here's what I'll say.
Don't get him upset, though.
I will go head to head.
Take it easy, Teddy.
Producer Ben, this is a clip
Pull
and a
back,
half.
boy. Pull back.
I will go head to head.
Ben, be careful.
50 games for 50 games against the point spread with any retired or professional football player in the league or retired. I'll go head to head, and I promise you, I pick more winners than them. That's all I know.
Well, you're going to give you a handle later in the show, so we'll make sure that they find you.
I'll give you my handle later in the show.
All right. All right, guys. Anything you want to wrap up? Listen, first of all, I want to wish both of you guys great holiday season.
Definitely. Likewise.
It was a pleasure doing the show with you guys all this year. We've been through it since week 1 of the NFL season. We started. We really enjoyed doing the show.
So you don't have a problem me bringing a new host in for next year?
I think we should let the audience know. We should let the audience know that we wanted to do a show next week. But our boy producer Ben doesn't want to come in that week. He doesn't want to work, so
hey, let him hang out.
He's taking us away from you guys for a week.
Listen, he's going to be hanging out with some beautiful women next week. What does he need to see the three Stooges here on the set again? He's going to enjoy himself. But we'll be back, guys. Listen, our next show, just so you know, is going to be on January 4th, 2024. It'll be up on all podcast forums. So I'll give you details in a little bit on that. But I think it's time we close it out.
Let's close it out.
Anything you want to add?
No. Once again, it was a pleasure working with you guys, and we got a lot of big things lined up for the new year. So definitely stay tuned.
What do you got before you go? You got to tell me. You got anything going on for the holidays?
I have absolutely nothing going on.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be with some friends and family.
All right.
Going to
New Year's Eve. Anything?
Christmas Eve dinner. I'm going.
Hard Rock?
I was invited. I will be at the Hard Rock for this Dallas Dolphin game. I'll tell you right now. Definitely.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot some content from there as well. I'll put it up on my Instagram. So
right.
look out for that.
Look out for that, guys. You're going to see the Big Kahuna down there by the Hard Rock, checking it all out. Hey, do me a favor, when they start swarming around you, just tell them you're a little busy. That's all.
I'll wear my sunglasses.
All right, Teddy, what's going on with you? Anything? Any big plans? I know.
No, we're doing. I have an Italian background, as you guys know, so we do the Feast of the Seven Fishes on
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
That's the
right. Sounds good.
All kinds of seafood and fish.
I guess we're going there.
Seven different kinds.
I guess the invite's in the mail. I didn't get it yet. But
Yeah, and it's getting close too.
the Postal Service is slow these days.
And anything after? I know you mentioned something. You might
then
take
after
a few
New
days.
Year's, I'm gonna see if I might be able to get
Well,
on
you
a
got to
Zoom.
be here on the 3rd.
I'm not going to be here, but I might be able to get on a Zoom. We'll figure it out.
right.
We'll iron out the details.
And you and I are supposed to be hitting Vegas to do a show out there in Vegas with podcasts.
We're taking the show on the road.
All right, because I'm ready. I got tickets for the
Sin City.
I got tickets for us for the Vegas Knights and Boston Bruins hockey game. That should be huge.
Wow, that's a good game.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game to go. So don't let me down on that.
You could count on me.
All right, there you go. All right, where can the people find you, Teddy, and all your information you put out on a daily basis? Give us the good word.
Yes, sir. So we are our revamped website, thesportsprofits.com. We got the Instagram, _profits_pick, youtube.com/@thesportsprofits, TikTok @thesportsprofits.
You heard it, everybody. This guy is a worker. He is a professional, consummate professional. He looks to give you the edge. Listen to what he has to say. If you don't like it, do whatever you want, but at least listen, because he has years of experience, and that's the bottom line. Big Kahuna, where can they find you?
Well, you want to check out our website for number one, onlinesportsbet.com, and we do have that odds comparison feed up there. It's so important to check numbers, so check us out, onlinesportsbet.com, Instagram, OSB_sports, YouTube, OSB-sports.
All right. Again, this is what he does. He does it 365 days. I don't know anybody who works harder than this guy. He's pumping out videos, multiple videos each and every day, guys. Been in the industry since the mid-'80s. I don't want to give his age away, but the Big Kahuna, he is the real deal. Okay, I'm Scott Matthews. You can find me each and every day. I put up stuff for free. Our games have been doing very well. I'm on social media. My TikTok is @SMPicks, PICKS. I'm also on Instagram @SMSportsPicks, PICKS. Check it all out. It's free. Everyone can complain. Listen, you don't have to follow it. The beauty is we're putting it out for you. If you want to be a part of what we do, great. If you don't, hear it out and do whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to.
They could even fade us if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, I get all these crazy comments, but guys, listen, we're just trying to help you out. I mean, there's no guarantees here. If there's guarantees, we wouldn't be here right now. We'd be taking the show right to the sports book in Vegas at the Circa and just be pounding and pounding away. But anyways, listen, you can find our show each and every week on all podcast forums, guys. Apple, Spotify, you name it. Check it out. It's the one and only OSB Sports Podcast. The Big Kahuna, Teddy Brooks, Scott Matthews. We'll catch you back. Have a great holiday season. We will be back here in 2024 looking to kick some ass. Have a great holiday with your families. We'll see you soon.